So here we are with the TCL Q7. This is the 55-inch variation, and we're going to be talking about the black level performance in a totally dark room. Had to wait till nighttime to pull this off because I don't want any light whatsoever. So as you guys can clearly see, it's pretty dark right now, but I'm not going to lie, I kind of looked ahead before this video, right? And I'm super impressed. Like, you really don't need to get a QM8 if you don't want to. Look at these black levels right now. Like, they are just as good in a lot of ways, like very inky. Like, it's I could tell because I've reviewed both that this is just I'm so serious. It's just slightly not as dark as the TCL QM8, but it's every bit as an impressive TV when you talk about the night room performance. Like, I don't know a soul alive that would like look at the black levels on this thing and then go, you know what, this isn't for me. This is a little too bloomy, or this is a little too bad. Like, the black level performance is truly exceptional, like inky deep black levels. Like, we're talking crazy, crazy inky. Now, there are moments where things can be a little bit, like, again, more gray than pure black. And what I mean by that is, like, you can tell that there's a light source behind it, but not that it's like a uniformity issue. Like in this example, like I can kind of tell that there's a light source behind it, illuminating it, but it's not destroying the black levels. Like, usually if I had something like the Sony X90K, for example, or the QN90C, or, you know, something like that, like, I would notice that there's a big glow or a big halo around everything that is like really complex. It doesn't like it very much, and you run into issues. Now, those TVs have moments where they can be every bit as inky as, you know, the best TVs out there, but typically they're not worth their price points. And this being a budget TV is really, really good in that this is going to be really affordable for a lot of people. And I love that we're starting to see this level of quality to where black levels are just, they're just buttoned up. And it's really like a new age, really. Like, you don't have to start giving in to Sony, giving in to Samsung, giving in to LG greed, and you can get these awesome TVs that deliver like truly exceptional black levels. Now, for full disclosure, this is movie mode, and I changed the brightness level from 19 to 100 to draw out like any imperfections that could happen. And so far, so good. I've even went and did the micro contrast. I boost that up so that if there's even like any area that could have like an extra highlighter kick, I wanted to see what that would do. And really, there is no issue with doing that. It's just absolutely spectacular. I mean, look at that. It's insane. Like, this is an affordable TV that's delivering this kind of picture quality. We don't usually see that. And now, like, seeing it in person, it's truly like impressive. I don't know if this is one of those examples where I like super got lucky and won like the quality control lottery, but this is pretty damn impressive that they're hitting at this level. And again, now out of the box, the picture quality, by the way, not great, but that's something I'll work on and fix for everybody. But so far, the black levels are good. Now, I will tell you on this particular image, not so much. There is a lot more in the way of haze and some grayness, so I'm going to have to open up my ISO a bit more so that you guys could probably see that. I don't even know if it's going to show. Right about there is what I'm seeing on my end. Now, obviously, the image in the middle is totally clipped out and you can't really see it. It's actually a little bit more exaggerated on the camera now than what I see in real life. I'll dial it down to what I see. Right about there is what it is. So looking at both of them, like, that's what it looks like. It's just a little bit of grayness to it that maybe is a little bit more exaggerated. So we'll keep the sensitivity to light or camera ISO just a little bit higher so that you can see it. And then we're going to go and try to show you guys this stuff. Again, this isn't for picture quality, so I don't mind blowing out the picture a little bit, because out of the box, again, you're going to need to work on this thing. It's not a looker, and that's probably one of the main differences between like the QM8 versus this. The QM8 was slightly more buttoned up out of the box than this, and this is just like not at all. Well, I say not at all, but like it doesn't look very good. I will do pre-calibration results and show you guys those results so that you can see like what it is measuring at. So that you have a better idea as to when you just buy it and take it out of the box, what you're going to be able to anticipate. But as you are clearly seeing, like, the black levels are pretty darn good. Now, one of the images that I want to get to that I really love using, again, year after year, and again, you guys are looking at like totally dark room, no issues whatsoever with black levels. I like showing images that have like a lot of geometry like this one. And this one, it's a little bit more gray, but again, this one's just kind of like slightly lifted black. It could be fixed, obviously, by lowering your brightness, so I am rocking the most aggressive brightness level, but honestly speaking, even this is kind of acceptable for a dark room, considering it's uniform. It's not splotchy, it's not all over the place. Like, when I did this test on the QN9DC, I noticed, like, in between the little confettis, there would be, like, little clouding bits. I'm like, what the hell is that? So this tells me the native contrast ratio of this before local dimming is really good, so that you don't have that clouding and that nonsense. So it's a lot further away from, like, let's say that IPS performance base form before you throw local dimming on top of it. So that way it looks good when you have solid local dimming. And so again, it just looks a little bit gray, but the blacks aren't like destroyed by clouding or abnormalities, which I really love. And like this right here is just like super inky. It's ridiculous. It's really cool. Like, I love seeing this performance. Now, the fair warning, if you go and you start looking off at an angle, like off at the side at extreme angles, of course you'll see all the imperfections in the world. This is not an OLED, so I don't recommend people try to use it in that way, but it's doing pretty good, as you guys are seeing. And again, remember, we're still using the elevated ISO here, right? So we're not doing anything special or fantastic to try to save it from that. And I think that really should tell you the full story. Now, we're going through and we're just showing you guys all the examples I possibly can so that you can get an idea. Camera overexposed, you can clearly see the image is blowing out, and we're not seeing any issues whatsoever in terms of black level performance. Again, a champion in a dark room is something that I am early on going to go ahead and just give this TV and just say, because it looks good. But I can't stress how ugly the picture is out of the box. Like, I'm not impressed at all. It looks very pukey, and like that's where I'm definitely able to see it's a budget TV. So you get black levels, but you get no kind of like color accuracy or anything like that. Now, again, you guys know me very well. I love using this image because this shows a lot of the weaknesses that we'd run into on TVs, and it's, again, just slightly gray, as you guys are seeing. And again, I can even raise the ISO up a bit more so that we can over-exaggerate the effect before too much came, I guess. I don't want to destroy the whole image, but I'll just raise it a little bit like you guys saw. And again, it's still pretty good, but gray, you know what I mean? Like, it's just a little bit gray, but not clouding like on some other TVs. Now, well, I'll go ahead and turn on some of the lights here so that you guys are able to see, like, when we start turning on lights and introducing lights, what it's gonna look like. And yeah, you can clearly see, like, you see what I mean? Like, it's not bad. It's not bad at all. I enjoy doing like the organic and real-time things like this so that you can see, like, look, this is what it is. Like, it's just a TV that does good in a dark room. Now I'm gonna go ahead and turn the lights off and see what we have. And again, I wanted to do it like this because you're seeing, like, this is the elevated ISO. Like, everything is kind of blown out way more than it would normally be. This is not like properly exposed in the least. So we're gonna go ahead and turn all the lights off just so you can see, like, that is how I'm doing this test. And then from there, we'll then lower it back down to like normal levels to where it actually looks in real life. And yeah, as you can clearly see, it's holding its own. And again, even with an exaggerated ISO, it's only got a glow because it's a light source. So again, solid night room performance. So let's lower it back down to where it is in reality, which is right about there. And we'll go back to some of those earlier examples. And again, it's just slightly gray. I notice it more in the left corner than anything else. But again, it's really doing a good job of maintaining that night room experience and that night room feel, because, you know, it's rocking out. And I appreciate seeing this at this price point. Can't stress that enough. Again, as geometry is kind of like coming up like this, like with fireworks, we are noticing that there's a bit more gray in between here because it can't illuminate all of that without there being some gray there, but it's nowhere near what the camera is showing. Like, this level of gray, that level of gray does not exist, right? To the extent that it is on camera. It is like, I would say a hair less. So let me actually just drop it down a hair and just see, like, if that did it. I think it's hard to see. I won't be able to see the final results, but I think it's about there. That's about what it looks like. Very impressive stuff. So if any of you guys were kind of reserved about this TV in a dark room, don't be like, I don't know that you'll look at black levels like this. Like, even now, the yellow's clipping because my ISO is still way too high, right? So, I mean, really, like, I don't think you'll have any problems whatsoever in a dark room. And I think it's quite the opposite. I think many of you guys will be very happy with these results and be like, wow, this is a really solid night room experience. And that's rocking the most maximum settings, the most dramatic settings. And of course, when you calibrate, you lower things and you make sure things are correct and you button things up better. So it only gets better from here. And that has me very excited. But that being said, I want to thank you guys so much for watching the #1 brand in honesty. So far, we're going to call the TCL Q7. I would say in a darkroom, definitely one of the better TVs to grab. Thanks for watching, and again, until the next video, I'll see you guys later.